First creation and fall of man, education of Mary and Liz and Zoan, the unity of life, Elihu's lesson. Death is a ministry. In Manetho's lesson, after the feast, we build with carpenter's tools on the life of Yahshua in the Muslim schools. Until Lamas explained the meaning of truth. Yahshua reveals sinful ways when they stray from rules. At the feast in Bahar taught equality, and that between Allah and man is unity. Like Yahshua and Barad, we read scrolls sacred, using eternal happiness to clothe the naked. In Egypt, among Gentiles, tremendous works defeat the three temptations to examine your worth. Washing your hands, can't clean karmic dirt. Lying disciples didn't steal the body and spur. When I left to appear fully materialized before Apollo and the silent brotherhood's eyes. Even in India, I appeared to Eastern sages. Came back to the Americas to save the nations. Living in sin, where should I begin? No brethren. Justice thusly broke from the monks Tibetan. As the Persian Gospels, I learned those lessons with a Moorish spirit spilling as the circle seven. Holy instructions and warnings to all young men. Marriage instructions, even duties of a husband. Holy instructions for children toward their mom and father's obedience. Holy covenant of nations Asiatic. Holy unity of rich and poor is in the attic. Master servant duty shall become a pleasure. Social duties by the prophet, Allah's treasure. Justice, charity, gratitude, sincere religion. Know thyself, inhale the breath of heaven. Speak the soul of man, reach the wisdom pinnacle. The instability of man is no miracle. In constant weakness, cause knowledge is insufficient. Lower self has the higher self in submission. Inconstancy and weakness, it caused misery. Origin of Asiatic, start of Christianity. After we left the capital and fulfilled prophecy. Fallen sons of daughters, no hate, start loving me, your prophet. Without a rocket, meet you on the soul plane. Higher than Siphon, 7 lines of cocaine. You won't have to do that to hear me speak. Open your heart to the Most High, bump into a sheep. Fez might be red, black, or blue. He might teach you about Bohemian Grove or Olokun. When I left to appear fully materialized before Apollo and the silent brotherhood's eyes. Even in India, I appeared to Eastern sages. Came back to the Americas to save the nations. Living in sin, where should I begin? No brethren. Justice thusly broke from the monks Tibetan. As the Persian Gospels, I learned those lessons with a Moorish spirit spilling as the circle seven. When I left to appear fully materialized before Apollo and the silent brotherhood's eyes. Even in India, I appeared to Eastern sages. Came back to the Americas to save the nations. Living in sin, where should I begin? No brethren. Justice thusly broke from the monks Tibetan. As the Persian Gospels, I learned those lessons with a Moorish spirit spilling as the circle seven.
The street is my world. I don't pretend to go uptown and be anything fancy. I can, but I find more real in the world that I'm in than I do the tinsel. And the real world is the one I have to deal with every day. You know? Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of it left.
Let the bass kick. Playtime been over since y'all dropped the ball. Bound to the continent, there's no asylum for y'all. Pushing the black Asiatic game with Ford L and Pool Bay. Before NOI, I rep draw L all day. How many fakes proclaim to be the reincarnation and claim to be the true head of the Moorish nation? No mention of Mealy ill, but I read his letters. Dirty Moors mad cause they thought they dead as letters. Many were there when decisions were handed down. Now they claim that Mealy was not ordained, not commissioned, not called or appointed. With divine plans for ages, but Dirty Moors making changes, working with FBI during infiltrations. In a Fez and alleys giving bogey smoke inhalations. And secret laws are made, heads are made in public mentions. Don't believe, get the minutes of the first convention. Kirkman and Lomax Bay got called out as villains against the Prophet Soden and L. Paul Gibbons. Thousands of Moorish Americans follow those leaders that killed the prophet and made Moors parrots, not readers. They don't study, brains hollow. To crush the truth, plant dissension in the ones that follow. Robbed the treasury, felt like they hit the lotto. Took advantage of the faithful Moors in their times of sorrow. Moments still critical, 100 years later, the message. Stick to the principles in your actions, be progressive. Don't sell your soul for a title, take your membership role. Watch out for grand cheeks pushing you in a censorship hole. The sellout was great, now they comfy and won't get the hell out. Active Moors come around, they get clumsy. Not humbly, but act grumpy and jumpy. Active Moors see them touchy and think it's lovely. With faces ugly, I push back so don't shove me. If not for love, it would be justice dirty Moors get from me. Hitting all reincarnates and writs of discovery, and demanding the treasury recovery and love for money. Wearing a fez don't make you a Moorish adept. Dirty Moorish heads are Boy Scouts and cadets, working for FBI inspectors, slaves for gadgets, claiming they got pulled, but they really dead magnets. Running a fraud that's done cause new Moors are here. One for all for one profit like musketeers. They, not Tampa or Buccaneers. I strike nerves like harp strings on those puppeteers. Pushing misconceptions as teachers and calling it facts. Swinging my scimitar, tongue not a fireman's axe. Quick to call me out as dirty, say I violate acts. If you don't nationalize, know that I annihilate blacks. Nailing through their palms and incepts on beams of wood. Burn crosses on black lawns in my Moorish hood. Black Klansmen like movie from 1960. White power, not supremacy like Clayton Bixby. Now I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis, misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces. 99 years passed, Drew Ali said 50 would pass, and you wouldn't know about me, or even know what I brought for you. NOI and you and I ain't knew about him too. Most thought that they could bury the movement, be in charge, passive and abuse it. But Drew said new Moors would come with eyes open, seeing and knowing, far from hoping, far from belief in faith, master fruition. Study the laws of nature, activate intuition. One day our wheels of industry will stop, and when it starts again, Moors will be on top. Drew Ali blessed with latent power. Warned you, get out the way or be ground to powder. Drew Ali didn't kill you fast, but he brought you your title and escape fast. Confusion continues to confuse, no remembrance of Maghrib al-Aqsa by Moorish descendant. I run through illusions, battling my arch nemesis, misconfusion. She's been trying to keep me out of course, facing losses, calling all her negative forces. Dreamy and drooling, falling for the fooling. Mental slaves sell out or get bought out for cooning. Being your example to follow with no strain. Meant means mine, so govern and entertain is more than you imagine. Carbon is melanin, Quran and Bible angels are cherubim and seraphim. Riding on the light angles, traveling at warp speed. We created cross reads, now we can't walk free. The mind is the plantation, everything is mental. Even filling your brother with lead like a pencil. Mercenaries with chalk, use bodies as a stencil. If rival gangs won't stop you, barbed wire fence will. It could take more, but it might take less. Cursing your God on Job's cash in the fake checks. Spending fake monopoly money, counterfeit at best. When you see something is wrong, you need to counter as best as you can. You don't need a magic wand or to click your heels twice to escape dreamland. Just use your mind. If you can't relate, you're living in an illusion, slave to the dream state. Just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He got nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaking by the shoulders, waking from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state. As Negro and black, we act like we can't see straight. Shaking by their shoulders, waking from their dream state. Invasion. Drew Ali, my water when the fire starts blazing. Running with no holy buckets, the Caucasian. While Asiatics daydreaming, mental stargazing. Not paying attention, but paying taxes and fines. Now said the world is yours, it really meant mine. If I ruled the world, you wouldn't want to be black. You wouldn't want to be a deadbeat dad or be whack for sure. You wouldn't want to be the dirty moral leader, convicted and facing my firing squad leader. You won't be put in a box, forget the cedar. Taking tires off cars at unexpired meters. If I ruled the world, dirty Moors would hate it. Find them with their wrists slit in bathrooms naked. Find them holding scimitar handles slumped over with suicide notes to Jehovah. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's linked. He brought nationality and link back to your east state as Negro and black. We act like we can't see straight. Shaken by the shoulders, waking from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state as Negro and black. We act like we can't see straight. Shaken by their shoulders, waking from their dream state. Dream a little dream. Wake up from the nightmare. Dream a big dream. Live your life in fright, scared to change. When everything that grows must do such or stay stagnant. Living your life as a pageant, made of faces with eyeliner and makeup, created by the same ones you call racist. Wake up, allow dead their dignity and exercise patience. Don't shock them too hard with electrifying statements. Everything cloudy, mind acting rowdy, hypnotized by Pied Piper, sign and rap ungodly. Having so much influence, youths won't pull their pants up, looking like a jailbird, begging for some handcuffs. In a dream state, getting grants up for freedom. Fiat is a slave to banks, you better see them. No different than the people are slaves to brand names. Move from dream to reality, change the landscape. He started from the top, don't listen to your man Drake. Only till clan hates and Masonic handshakes don't work. Moors are back, do your homework and assignments. Realize Moorish is the science. You just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's linked. He brought nationality and link back to your east state as Negro and black. We act like we can't see straight. Shaken by the shoulders, waking from their dream state. If you just heard about Drew Ali, don't think he's late. He brought nationality and link back to your east state as Negro and black. We act like we can't see straight. Shaken by their shoulders, waking from their dream state. Yeah. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I'm going at dirty rappers, lynching dirty ones too. Hiding literature that Drew wrote to warn you. They claim to make you Muslim and make you sovereign. With paperwork and filings, it's fiat and robbing. They don't care about his words, throw it out like garbage. Or throw it at you when you're active, not passive. When they want to talk about like off a trampoline mattress, treat them like a vamp or a teen actress. Get stabbed with a brand like a mean savage. This inquisition's divine, all others average. Millennium renaissance, heroes in our classes. Fed up with the czar controlling fascists. Ask if they heard about Moors, they say no. But Masons, they obviously know. Down the handshakes and rituals with skull and bones. They even know about owls burning Bohemian Grove. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. Dirty Moors killed Drew. I read the FBI papers on loyal Moors, emergency fund rapers, Moorish literature and divine valor changes. Might as well say Drew Ali was born in a manger. Prophets push poison aside and his food smelled danger. Got me treating every Moor like a stranger. Grand Chief One-kin stumbling drunk in their feds. What was proclaimed for every meeting was not read. Some Moors are so active, prophet can't be dead. Thanks Moorish teachers away, I can't be led. Actions speak, then I consider what's said. And what's said was study, then study yourself. Honest to the prophet, noble Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. Everybody wants to be just like Drew Ali, but nobody wants to care about Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. Islam Moors. Sarahites face the east. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical and agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Remember, this time right now, remember, your card is for your salvation. Play around now. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. Now remember, he's not taking away your stuff from you. You're turning it in if you're a traitor against the prophet and the temple. This is a holy and divine movement founded by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out a divine plea to all Moorish Americans that you, do your part in protecting your prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Noble Drew Ali. To be proclaimed at every meeting. Islam. I am glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now, by the same people on our side of the nation that claim that I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and from the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens. They are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is to the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors. I am calling on all faithful Moors to increase your faithfulness to him, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance, and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years, Prophet Noble Juali. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam. This is just the members now. This is not the American citizens or anybody else. This is specifically for the members. People who say they have nationality card, Moorish Science Temple, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Prophet Noble Juali is the founder and all that stuff. This is for you. This is the instruction from your prophet, Noble Juali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on. But the weak can comprehend it not. The end of time is drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I Noble Juali. And that's why many hearts have been turned to stone. Many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the one that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Juali. Islam, Moors. So here we are. You know what I'm saying? I have to say again, man. Big shout out to the old school. Because DJ D Nice had the place going nuts last night on the damn computer. And people are listening to this thing, and then I'm like, hold on a second. This is going to be the new wave. Everybody's going to start doing concerts on some online whatever. But we'll leave that alone for right now, because that's just too much right now. But big up to D Nice for going off last night. Of course, it had to be the golden era. Had to be somebody from that realm. You know what I mean? To use this thing for what it's exactly for. People are worried, panicking, whatever like that from the thing. Let's have a party. Because there's never ever problems at a good party. And everybody has fun. The guy who's the nerd that never got to dance with a girl ever, he gets to dance, leaves with a girl and all that stuff. Everybody's happy at a good party. And this man had an online party. And then it's crazy because like celebrities, people, whatever, were in it. In the chat or whatever. And then remember, Noble Juali told us learn to love instead of hate and all that. And there's a certain vibration right now, ever since the new year kicked off. Ever since Sons of Allah, Islam to Mizraim, Islam, ever since Thursday, it's been crazy hectic. It's been crazy on so many different levels. But there's so much and so little time. Islam more.
Islam.
What are you saying, yo?
Yeah, it's a lot. I see a lot of people Yeah, people having a good time right now, cooking out and spending time with their fam. I seen a bunch of people. I went to go buy some trees the other day from the Home Depot or whatever to go get two cherry trees, and I see a bunch of people with their children buying paint and stuff like that. So I thought that was cool too. I was like, look, everybody get to be with their children. You know what I mean? I was like, that's a good thing, man. That's pretty cool to see everybody in that good mode right now.
Mm-hmm. Right, stay there, especially mentally. Stay there. If everything's good right now, other than what these people are saying out there, if everything's good right now, that's where you're supposed to be at. Don't move. Don't get off the path. Remember, the more I told you in Art of Peace, if you're 1 foot off the path, you might as well not even be on that. So hold steadfast right now to what it's about. Now, we want to, first of all, get the share screen going on so you could see what we're looking at. We have a good bit to go through, but since we have our abilities right now, we are going to make this so much easier. So we're here on the Canaanland IG. We wanted to put some things out. Ancient and modern Britons. David McRitchie. This is not Moors talking. This is not Moors that did this research and found this. This is a man by the name of David McRitchie. Has nothing to do with us. We just study, so we have access to things that people who don't study have access to. Nothing crazy. Latest representatives of Moorish nobility had sunk into the position of hunted bandits and outlaws. Now, this is why Tupac named his stuff outlaws. And then in reality, we know that he was on the science because he was going to name Noble Drew Ali. So he knew what was up. But people too slow to get what's going on. Because you're slow, you get played. The gypsies of Galloway make their appearance. From that date, therefore, the Picts of Galloway were the Moors of Galloway. And then we have our little section over here. And then we said, if Calloway comes from Galloway and Galloways are Moors, why is Mr. Calloway hating on Moors but using a Moorish name? And that's not a hating question. That's not a trolling question. You want to know, if you're claiming your name is Calloway and you're Aboriginal and Indigenous, then why don't you have an Aboriginal and Indigenous name? Why is your name Calloway? Right. Which, when you do your research, it comes from Galloway. Calloway is a fiction. It's really Galloway. And Moors are of that place called Galloway. the Callaways come from Galloway. Not the word. The people who call themselves Callaway, they come from Galloway. Because the Callaways would have been the first people of the Galloways. Those people were Moors, according to David McRitchie. They weren't Europeans. They weren't Moorish in the context like people look at it, part of something or whatever. No, Moorish means pertaining to the Moors. Look it up. It's not what Moors say. That's what the word means, pertaining to the Moors. Doesn't say anything about almost being a Moor and pretending to be a Moor and none of that. Right? Oh, let's get this update. Peace, Moor. Yo, everything's good. I'm just in class right now.
Pardon?
I'm just in class right now.
Oh,
Doing our Sunday session. But we're online though. We're doing it online.
Okay,
What are you doing?
so
How much time you got?
I got time. I just was calling you. I want to see what's up and I want to ask you some stuff. But if you're busy, I'll call back.
You can link me later?
Yeah, when's good?
I don't know what. I was like 7 or something.
Okay, I'm gonna call you around that time.
All right.
Did you? Oh, quick question. Did you talk to the Dread?
No, I didn't talk to him because the movement right now is limited.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, because I gave him a copy of the journal for you.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right. I'll call you later, even.
Yeah, I'll connect with him though, because I'm off, so I'll get to him.
Yeah, you should do that.
All right, fam.
All right. Talk to you later. Peace.
Yeah, peace. Islam was. So the Callaways of the Galloway are Moors. That's just what it is. Right? That's just what it is. It's nothing that Moors made up. It's nothing that's just what it is. Whether people want to accept that or not, that's up to them. As Moors, we study, and this is what our research showed us with regard to this name called Callaway. Right? We're just presenting what we found out because, you know, if I'm a lover of information and I want to get information from a lot of different sources, when something's fishy, I'm gonna ask some questions. Not just accepting what it is that you're saying. What do you mean? Because as Moors, we know that status is the first issue before anything. David McRitchie, he can put up his credentials. What are these people going to tell you about some DNA test or something like that? That's how they know that they're whatever. What are you talking about? We're talking about where you come from. What do you mean you were yesterday you're a reggae singer and then today you're the #1 lecture guy? How? Oh, because you guys paying Jesse Ventura games and stuff like that. He could be a wrestler and be a governor and stuff. That's the stuff you guys are playing. Okay. Then if that's the case, then we get it. Now we know why. Because you have the mindset of them. Opposed to honoring your Moorish foremothers and forefathers who were Moors of Galloway, playing around with your indigenous or whatever. And then you have all these other people following that folly. Selling their self out. When you sell yourself out, you can't blame that guy. Islam, you have anything to add before we move on?
Yeah, just quick question too. My thing is with the Dan Calloway in his name, because his name, like, because he has correction papers on that he sells. Why didn't he correct his name? He still has Dan Calloway. He didn't correct that at all. I really don't. I really don't see how he hasn't correct that when he has paperwork that he sells to correct statuses.
Right.
But he's still Dan Calloway.
And this is not what we say. This is his stuff, right? You know, but he always tell you about, you know, here's this information about correct your status. Here's this information about your lawful rights before and after. Here's this information about the concerning the person, the U.S. citizen, taxpayer. Here's the difference between a sovereign and a person. Certified sovereign, tax collections, divorcing, terminating driver's license, send to the government, false presumptions, identification cards. What do you mean? What do you mean correcting identification cards on passports? So if you know that much, how are you calling yourself Dane Calloway? Unless that's just a corporate name and that name has nothing to do with anything. That's just the name of a corporation that he made up. Have you thinking that that's a personality? That's a being. That's the guy that you hear his voice on the thing. When that's not. I never remember what made me quit McDonald's. There's this elder that used to work there. And this man always used to say, hey, how come? Or we used to always say, how come this man doesn't eat from here? You know, why don't you eat from here? You know, and he talks some BS about his weight and all this stuff or whatever. And then one day, he's like, you ever wonder how come our food called burgers are only 100% beef? No, I never thought. I started thinking about cows and started thinking about all this stuff. And he straight said that that's the company name. The company name is 100% beef.
Yep.
You're thinking the box has that. You know what I mean? So then all these years, then if that's what that is, then what's in the box? And then he just held up his salad. That's why I don't eat from here, because I don't know what's in the box. So I'll bring my stuff from home. Thank you very much. And that was one of my stop eating from other people experiences. I used to murder some McDonald's shit. Right?
Yeah.
So it's all a front.
Crazy.
It's all a front. It's just there to have you think that it's something that in your mind it relates to a human because you hear a voice, but that's not what's going on. Because if he knows all this, he should have a corrected status. There's no way he knows all this to tell you, give me 40 notes and I'll send you all the information on all this stuff right here, that none of it is his information. And then he never went through that, but then you're doing it. Like, we bought the package so we can see what's in it. We didn't buy it to go do it. Why? We already have a corrected status. We need him to tell us who we are. There's no way that you can't have a corrected status, because not only the Galloways, but again, David McRitchie about the Danes. The Danes then were like the Moors, black. So if the Danes are Moors, and we don't worry about no black there because they have the common B to let you know that's descriptive. That has nothing to do with anything. They're just stressing the point of how these Moors looked. But that's not who the Moors are. The Moors are Moors. One of their names was Danes. So a guy comes to you now and his name is Dane, which is a Moorish name, and Calloway, which comes from Galloway, which is a Moorish name, but he's telling you you're indigenous. You don't think something's off with that? Like them two, they were the Picts. Remember the Picts we talked about were in the Galloway. That's not his name. That's a name he made to do this thing that he's doing. We're letting you know that he made a Moorish name to do this, whatever that he's doing. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because you can't say that that's your name, because that's not the name. You might as well just say Moor. More. You just call yourself More instead of Dane Calloway. Right? Again, if the Danes were like the Moors, why is Dane using a Moorish name but hitting on Moors? This is how the infighting stuff that they talk about happened, started going on. It first started when the patriarch Moors didn't want to honor the Moors who were the matriarch Moors. And the infighting started from that. These people wanted to put the penis up on the stuff, not the vagina. Like, why you guys want to put a penis on the mantle? What are you talking about? No, because that's the way it's supposed to be, because our foremothers and all this stuff. What are you talking about? You know, foremothers of ours were honoring no penis like that. They honored vagina. Because it's matriarch. That was the first infighting. Then the next infighting is now the people who don't want to be who their ancient foremothers and forefathers were now. So he took away the form of government of how it was supposed to be. And you start doing some fiction stuff. You know, we figured out, okay, well, we got the name now. At least we could be that. Then you can't be that because there's people on your side saying that they're not you. So they'll work with the other side to try to take you out and all this type of stuff so they can get piece of the stuff when that's my brother. How about you hooking up with me so we can get this foreigner out of here? What are you talking about? You mean you're going to go do treaties with them? You're going to go do treaties with them when we're here and you never did treaties with us? What are you talking about? And we're the sellouts? Hold on a second. Moors and Aboriginal indigenous people been in America. Whoever was there first doesn't matter. They've been in America. The Moors have one treaty with these Europeans, but the indigenous people have 50 billion treaties with them. That none of these treaties these people held to. And they're complaining that they didn't hold to the treaty, which is why they're trying to make all these arrangements as Aboriginal indigenous and whatever. So the infighting is not infighting. The infighting is people who sold out. For what's their motive? I don't know. But I know for a fact if somebody says that their name is Dane Calloway, which means that they're Moors, and they're telling people not to declare their nationality. Noble Dwali is a fraud. He plagiarized the Aquarian gospel from Levi Dowling and telling lies on his own prophet. Noble Dwali is his prophet too. He's lying on his own prophet. And then having you abandon your own prophet, and then when stuff gets crazy, like now, phone doesn't stop ringing. What do we do? Mars. What are you supposed to do right now? What do you mean what are you supposed to do? You didn't, what do you mean? I gave you all the literature and all that stuff. You gave you King Alfred Plan and all that. Been telling you all about King Alfred Plan. Been telling y'all about. Didn't Calloway tell you about King Alfred Plan? He never told y'all? Oh, all right. Oh, you want to know why stuff is how it is? Now you're calling Moors now? The board has left the dock. Remember we told you that too? You didn't really get what was good. Now you get it now? Now you get it. Well, why Noble Drew said if you don't do anything else, declare your nationality, you're playing around. And then you're only playing around because you've been listening to these clowns who have no intentions of you being free. Noble Drew was the only one that had intentions of freeing you. Everybody else wanted to enslave you so they can get their peace. And they're doing that right now, getting their peace. Islam more.
Islam. Another quick question, because I see there's always a lot of so-called Indians following this guy, and I was wondering, to the Indians, what shouldn't they be looking for somebody who has another so-called Indian name, not a Dan Calloway? Because anybody else would be just looking at this in the lower level, just looking at him like he's a so-called black guy, because he doesn't have chief such and such or feather such and such like the rest of the so-called Indian names. Like, he clearly has Dan Calloway. Why aren't they looking for or even challenging him on that? Like, nobody even challenges him on, like, yo, why do you have Dan Calloway as a name and not some type of, so-called Indian name? They don't even they just let it go. Like, that's a whole nother thing to me, because I'm like, even your followers are like on a part where, long as he doesn't say we're Moors, it's whatever. It doesn't matter. Just long as they don't say that we're Moors.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the information that he's saying, RV Bay Publications covered that years ago. Years ago. He'll just take something and remix it and make it and go fit his way. But the foundation is RV Bay Publications. Everybody knows that.
Can't escape. Oh, I see you more. I was just away from the chat, but there you go. Just push that thing right there. If anybody needs to add on to anything, feel free. But don't forget, we hang up on BS if you're calling in here. So don't get it messed up. Well, we look at the whole pipeline, whatever, as optics, because that's their boys. The Aboriginal and Indigenous people who are in the mainstream that people see are boys with the colonizer. Go check the treaties. Remember, it's not what Moors are saying. You just go check the treaties that Europeans did with Indian tribes. And you'll see that these people even agreed to the pipeline. So why are you on the, so hold on a second. So you made a treaty with them to agree with the pipeline, but then you're on the train tracks, messing up people's day or whatever. Why? You have a treaty with them. That's who the sellouts are. But they just look like what they look like today. The foremothers and forefathers of the people who we see today looked like Asiatics. Right? That's all it is. We know. That's why we talk how we talk. Now, the more sudden stop, try listening to people and go study. Because there's a whole game going on right now. And it's all because We didn't adhere to what Noble Drew Ali presented. We were listening to people. Exactly. So because the treaties have been broken so much, it's not on the fact that the treaties are fraud. They shouldn't have did the treaties in the first place. They should have held these Europeans to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, because that's what had them bound to the colonies. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to be their Indian whatever. So because they want to be their Indian whatever, now that's what they get. You can't be going on railway tracks and stuff now. Too late for that. You did that contract. You shouldn't have did the contract in the first place. 1700s. These people know that Europeans came here by boat. So they were on the seaboard. There was always a sellout amongst the tribes that would bring the European to the mainland. Always.
Yep.
The Indians say that. Oh yeah, we had a little sellout guy. We had to put him on the stake or whatever because he brought the Europeans here and they pillaged our whatever. How they get from seaboard all the way in there? What are you talking about? Right? Nationality would always be the order of the day. Yeah, I know you're Indian. You better have a nationality. Because all them Indian documents talk about nationality. The ones that mean something. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. It says all those tribes are nations. If the tribes are nations, then they better have a nationality. Because you can't tell me that Cherokee Nation, but you don't have a nationality. What are you talking about? You're a Cherokee Nation. You're a Lenape Nation, but nobody in your nation has a nationality? Get the hell out of here, liar. Get out of here.
It tells them in the rights of indigenous people.
You're a liar.
Everyone has a right to a nationality.
You have a right to that.
Because if it was just like the norm that all of the tribes were just a nation, they wouldn't have put in the rights of indigenous people, you have a right to a nationality. It would have just been as it is. It would have just been it. But they put it in there specifically. Why? Because they know that tribal stuff is not what it is. You guys have to have a nationality.
Yeah. Have to have a nationality. Yeah. All right.
That's when they play that. I'm above all of that. That's when they play that. I'm above all of that. I'm past that. Oh. But then as soon as the European give them any paperwork, they back to filling out Smith, Jones, and Johnson and checking off black.
Playing games with you.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is that we are Moors. If Dane and Callaway are Moorish names, and then Montezuma is a Moorish chief and all that, then we're definitely Moors. We're definitely Moors. So what is the issue with our people? Our own. Telling them BS. And then when you're diverted away from the Moors, and then you get a ticket, now you want to call Moors. Everything was laid down. This is why we say that we're Moors, because of this individual, Noble Drew Ali. who told us that we're not Negro, black, colored, we're Moors. Told us. So this is from the oral statements. The oral statements and prophecies of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of MST of A. Introduction by Brother R. Love L., Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America. This introduction is written to inform the Moors and readers of the importance of the things that the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali said when speaking to a group of Moors or to an individual. The Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a message carrier for Allah, the same as the angels of Allah. To the Moors, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is an angel of Allah, who was sent to bring us the everlasting gospel of Allah. The words that the Prophet spoke to the Moors were the messages of Allah that the Prophet brought to us. The Prophet said, "Every word I speak is spirit, and you Moors had better heed. That is regard to words with care, consider them, give them your attention, and obey." The Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali is due high honors in his station as a prophet of Allah. He is due high honor for the work he performed. He is due high honors for the suffering that he went through, that we may receive the holy and divine messages that he brought for our salvation. The things that the Prophet said are due high honor, because they are from Allah, the great God of the universe. A special warning to some who have committed gross wrongs in violation of the warning from the Prophet, wherein he said, "Woe unto the one that scatters my flock." The Moors that have been in the Moorish Science Temple of America long enough, they have seen the reward of those that committed this wrong. It is not well that they have earned by their It is not well what they have earned by their wrongful acts. Though the works of this evil use the names of Allah and His Prophet to lure others from the true faith and path, they work but evil, and they lead astray those that also go in their harm. Religious or political issues are not an issue, and when these wrongs are committed, there is but one issue, and that is right and wrong. We Muslims, true submitters to the will of Allah, should obey Allah and His Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The Prophet said, "Let me find you where I left you." This warning is plain. One should never say that the Holy Prophet said a thing unless you know it to be right. The Holy Quran of Mecca teaches that the man that tells a lie on Allah or the Prophet creates a terrible doom. That is, the man creates a terrible doom for himself. Honor the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali and honor his words. Peace. So number 24. The Holy Prophet told the Moors that one day you will go to the store and there will be soldiers there with guns with bayonets on them, and they will not let you enter. They will order you to move on. Now everybody could go online and pull up that picture from the 60s, 50s, 40s, right after Noble Drew Ali transition, all the madness that started happening. You have that record of that prophecy happening back then. And all it is has a different face now, but it's happening right now. Right now. Soldiers where there used to be highwaymen. They might have no bayonets right now, but they got guns, I'm sure. All right. One day you will go to the store. One day you will go to the store. You more. One day you're gonna go to the store. Not the Negroes. Remember, this is stuff he's talking to Moors. This is not some external thing. everything that he's talking about, it's to another Moor or to a group of Moors. So he's talking to you right now. And in some situation, it probably hasn't gotten there yet, where you can't go. You better go now, get what you could get. You know, these people fool you with some, you put your mask on and put on your gloves, and you go get what you could get. Like the Moors said in China, they wear masks all the time. And then they're doing that because of some air pollution, whatever. They ain't care about no virus. They've been wearing masks. It's a lot more.
Islam more. Yeah, I saw that video too. I was like, oh, this video is crazy right now.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about it too, because I was just like, I had to go type in again on the China situation. Right after you posted that, I said, what happened to the riot? Because they were rioting out there too, the young people.
Yeah.
Like months on into right up until the so-called virus hit, they was out there rioting, and they still out there rioting with their mask on, but they not talking about it as much. They trying to keep on talking about the coronavirus, but the young folks still out there rioting with masks on. I was going crazy, but they already had the mask on, just trying to stay like in disguise.
The more the chat said, so what did Michael Jackson have when he brought out the mask?
Right.
Corona been here. Corona been here. And Michael had the mask, yo. Right. Brother I. Cookbay of Illinois said that the Holy Prophet said, one day Europeans are going to lock up the food in warehouses, put soldiers around them to guard them, and he will go anywhere, he says, to get something to eat. Like that's almost right now.
Yep.
Because there's Moors who let us know from, like, you know, the inside the warehouse people, that at the warehouse they're hoarding stuff, and you know they're looking out for the people who work there. You know, somebody sneak in the back and get you a toilet paper roll, because they got them in the back stocked up. They ain't running out of no damn toilet paper. Right? But they're rationing things. So that's locking up the food.
Yep.
Right. Again, it's like they say, you know, it's like you look up and a meteor bigger than Earth is heading to Earth. Like you know, what's gonna happen is gonna happen, and see what happens after. Ain't nothing you're really gonna do, really. It's where this is at, because again, of people who strayed us from the Prophet. If everybody knew this stuff, right? Forget they're saying that they're more or whatever. Let's say if everybody just knew this. And one day you're gonna go to the store, there'll be soldiers with bayonets there and all that stuff, telling you you can't go. You might consider stocking up some food, just because, you know, that's what their plan is. And a can of whatever could last for however long, and you know, some army blow up food gonna last for 10 years or whatever, then you know, might as well put some things away. Because there's no control like that. You know, this is why again Juali stressed so much how important the spiritual aspect is, so you don't get caught up in the stuff that's going on around you. Because you get caught up and slip into the hole, then you're in there. You can get caught up and slip through the crack. Just because, you know what I mean, you're a weak mind, and you know, you said, you know, let me just listen to the radio once, or let me just put down this book and go do something that, you know what I mean, drawing you in. We're supposed to have all this in us already. This is 1920s, he said this stuff. And this is going on right now around us. This happened around people who we say are leaders. This happened around the people before them. So this is not some prophecy. We're talking about this right now, and then this means that, oh yeah, we saying that no, we're showing you a reoccurring theme of when you violate the will of Allah. Noble Drew Ali was an angel, like it was said. He was an angel sent to the Negroes because we needed him the most. We were in the worst position as a people in the 1920s. And the great God of the universe, whatever we want to call that existence, sent us somebody with the keys for us to be saved. And then people sold that out. And then now we're showing you what the sell, how you know who the sellout is. They're not telling you about this, what's going on. This is King Alfred plan and stuff in the 20s. This is martial law and stuff in the 20s. Sister A. Brown L. of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet said one day the European is going to let you down. You're going to have to put up a 90-day supply of food to last you until your brothers from the east come to rescue you. You're going to have to put up a 90-day supply of food. Like, you're going to have to. It's not an option. You're going to have to do that. This is happening right now. People wasting time buying toilet paper. Wasting time. Wash your ass. Toilet paper. Toilet paper. That's all. You're supposed to stock up a 90-day supply of food and you're buying toilet paper. How asinine that is. And that's our people. And that's our people because they didn't have the teachings of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. They had all these fakers teaching them, and they didn't teach them anything. Left them hung out to dry. Just left them hung out to dry. Islam more.
Islam. It just what you just said, like, you know, coming, like, if you had the right teachings, like, since I came in to knowing what was going on, like having my birthright, I ran into other Moors who taught like what's the Moorish title? Man, it's so simple too. What's the Moor whose son was kidnapped and he got his son, brother Fontes, when he had there's a blog talk called The Power of Writs, and he goes in on I think it's that one. It might be another one where he just starts talking about how to dehydrate your food and you know how to make powder and stuff like that. You know, and that was years ago. He was talking about doing that, and I was glad to run into that because I picked up that hobby from him, and I ended up been having food on supply because of him. You know, because dehydrating food, you can end up having a supply of food for years just by dehydrating it. So I was glad to have running in that by Brother Fontes, and that was just because, you know, like you said, getting teachings by the right one, not these fakers.
Wow.
So to see everything happening now, and you know, I was like, you know, I know Moors is over there looking like, I told y'all. You know what I mean? Like we should have been doing it, you know what I mean? Like we should have been having our food supply and all of that. You know what I mean? Like I look at all my food that I have, you know, growing right now. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, like I would have never did this. Never did this. You know, now I'm going on my third year of cultivating, and it's going to be a good year this year. So I'm not even looking at it like, oh, in a panic. Nope, not at all. Not at all. They talking about, and then I know like for Moors too, that's always studying the shutdown and everybody being in their house. Moors who be studying, we always in the house. We stay. It's nothing for us. We like, yeah, I'm always here. Like this is where I'm at studying all the time. You know,
Always here. Chilling. Where you at? At the house, yo. At the house. Right. Brother Wise Bay of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet said, one day some of you old Moors are going to be so hungry that you're going to bite into your own flesh and blood will skeet out. And you are going to get angry with yourself because you didn't put up enough food. Try not to be those Moors. We know. You know what I mean? We know. We're just saying. No Jolly was presented to us as having said certain things. Some of the things that he said came to pass. So whether they made it up and said Noble Drew Ali said it, or whether Noble Drew Ali really said it, is definitely messages from Allah that something's connected here with us, saying that we're more. This is not just some church thing or a group of something. You know, and this is something way bigger. Islam, more, you had anything to add on?
No, I yield the floor. Islam.
Brother J. Blakely Bay said that the Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, said, one day every wheel of industry is going to stop. And when they start up again, it will be in the Asiatics' favor. And Noble Ali told the Moors that these same Asiatics are angels. And the angels are the Moors. The Moors are Asiatics. So right now we're seeing every wheel of industry almost stopping. And they're going to start back up again. That's just what it is. Right? And it would be just like your phone, a reset. A lot of the updates go in, let all this, and then they start up again. Right? And then the reason why they could do that is that they do it during the spring equinox. So the energy is going to be there. They don't need that many people to do things because the energy is already there. And they know how to tap into the energy. That's why they're colonists. That's why they go after natural resources, because they're about energy. Again, it's King Alfred plan. It's not what the Moors say. It's these people's stuff that tells you that. So all the wheels of industry coming to a halt because of whatever. When they start back up again, where are the Asiatics going to be at? What position are they going to be playing after the startup? Like, this is one that already happened that we, used to show Moors that if you don't do anything else, declare your nationality, because Noble Ali was really onto something. Brother J. Blakely Bay said that the Holy Prophet said if the European be just, they would have an Asiatic vice president, and if they had an Asiatic president, they would have a European vice president. And then they did that. That happened. And during that time, there was just things that happened for Asiatics. That people were looking at, like black people were, wow, black guys got it or whatever. And they were feeling like somebody. That doesn't take away that, still weren't really there yet. So we still got caught up in the game of that individual because he looks like us, he's with us. No, he worked for the other side. He's an officer of the court. But yeah, he's gonna do some things the best that he can, just like any spook at the door would do. You know what I mean? Every double agent comes with his conscience. And then, thinks, well, all the messed up stuff that they did or whatever, and they do something good. Try to balance the energies. That's all energy. And the good ones know how far to push the envelope before they have to fill up again. So things were said and things were laid down. Some manifested, some were dead on. And us being Moors, seeing that, we just have to, give honors, high honors, because this man said it was going to manifest and it manifested. It's no joke when C. Freeman said Moors were looking for Jesus. That's why they missed Noble Ali. And then Noble Ali telling these Moors that some of my best Moors are in the church. You already knew. Brother J. Foster Bay of Temple 4 and 25 heard the prophet say, we, the Moors, are a hard-headed, stiff-necked, mean set of people that have never did anything except at the point of a sword.
Hmm. Nailed it right on the head with that one.
Yo. Right on the head. We, The Moors. He's funny, yeah. Nobody's escaping the wrath. He wasn't talking to me. Yeah, he was talking to all you Moors. You're hard-headed, stiff-necked, mean set of people. But the good thing about you is that you never did anything except at the point of the sword. So, you know, you're peaceful people by nature. You know, you're peaceful people by nature. That's just what it is. Strangers could meet and realize that, damn, you're like my long lost brother and all this type of stuff. So we're peaceful people. And by the time the point of the sword is seen, it's already too late. So maybe we're a little bit too peaceful. You know, if we're not doing something except at the point of a sword, then it's almost too late, because how did the sword get that far that we're seeing the point? And we didn't make our move yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at the point of the sword. Telling you, by being hard-headed and stiff-necked, not listening to the prophet, it makes you mean. Because you start taking on the frustration of, why aren't people accepting this? This is not for them to accept. Have you got it? Yeah, I got it. Okay, so you go handle your business. Because the boat has left the dock.
You said it earlier. Your phone was ringing off the hook, wasn't it?
Yo, 19 messages on the temple voicemail. I didn't
19 messages.
even check yet for this week. That was last week. 19. Right? And we get it. But we also get that we've been telling people. And then it's some stuff like this, which we're even looking at this kind of funny. You know what I mean? We're not, absolutely convinced of certain things now. If stuff is going to be in a movie and all that stuff, then I don't know what's going on. You know, actually, since we have this thing up, that was a pretty nuts one too. Because it's like, how is it that much in the movie? Like, how is it in like that they're directly telling you? They're not even lying.
There's stories circulating on the internet that in India and elsewhere, the drug river ban has been shown to be effective against this virus. Yet, Homeland Security has found the CDC not making announcements until stockpiles of the drug disappear. Continue to be evaluation of several drugs with the variant in London. But right now, our best defense has been social distancing. No handshaking, staying home with the sick, watching it.
Like, there's no way that, because I never heard nothing about social distancing before Corona. Nothing. I never heard that term before ever. And then it's in the Contagion movie, social distancing. I don't know. I don't know. Contagion's not new. And it was the same Gupta dude in the movie is who started pushing the social distancing stuff on CNN or Fox or whatever. How is there a coughing movie and spreading of something that they don't know where it came from and whatever. And then that's happening. How is something on Simpsons and then it's happening? What do you mean? Something doesn't seem funny? If nothing seems funny, then we're in trouble. If nothing seems damagingly odd, then we're in it. Islam more.
Islam.
You straight? Or you have anything to add on?
No, I yield the floor.
Islam.
Because it's just because they're answering the question. You know what I mean? Like as you read them.
Yeah. Brother I. Cook Bay, Grand Governor of Illinois, heard the Holy Prophet say, I remember when I was on the soul plane. I remember when I was Noah. Noah was a carpenter and he built the ark. When the flood came, men came swimming out to the ark and knocked on the door and said, Noah, Noah, let us in. And I told them, the door is locked. And an angel came and took the key away. Right? While I'm slaving building this ark, you're making a mockery. You're talking crazy. Now the ark built and flood comes, now you wanna, sorry. I don't know what happened to the key. Angel took it. The angel took the key. Oh yeah? The invisible angel took the physical key. All right, Noah. Yep. In the late 20s, when there were thousands of Moors in the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Holy Prophet told the Moors, the membership is going to dwindle down to a handful, but keep the doors open, and I will drive the Asiatics in. The Holy Prophet said, when I drive the Asiatics in, it's going to take 10 secretaries just to write the names down. Brother J. Blakely said, the Holy Prophet said, when I raise my floodgate, it's going to take 16 secretaries to write the names down.
Yep.
Right?
I was one of them. We came in droves. Morris came. I could just imagine how many times people have went on to the RV Bay Publications website.
Yeah, crazy.
I could just imagine.
Keep the doors open. Because the Asiatics are gonna be at the point of a sword one day.
Yeah.
And when they get to the point of the sword, the Moors better be there. Because that's gonna be our opportunity to nationalize them. Get them back into the fold.
Mm-hmm.
It's going on right now. It's all about Moors not taking this position of you're somebody's sultan and all that, and you're ruling over Moors. This is about learning about your nationality and your birthrights and doing some good work with other Moors who are doing good work where you're at. That's what this is about. This is about Moors unifying. And as Moors unify, then the energy picks up. As more is unified, the energy picks up more. Because we're already in the place that we can do this from. We're Moors. We know about our nationality and birthrights. If we don't do anything else, you're supposed to know that. And we know that. So it's just time for work. Again, the Holy Prophet said, if my principles are carried out, the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the United States will be the richest and most prosperous country on the earth. If not, the worst is yet to come. Think the worst is here yet? Think the worst is here? On the way? What do you think? Is the worst here? If this is the worst, what's the worst? This isn't the worst yet then. Crazy.
It just reminds me of the statement, they thought it was a joke and unreal.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. The Holy Prophet said, let the Moors know that he was Jesus. He said, those that were with me 2,000 years ago are with me today. And those that were against me 2,000 years ago are against me today. Moors, be yourself. Moors, be yourself. Because once you're with the Prophet, you have nothing to lose. Once you honor him in the principles, you have nothing to lose in any endeavor. Because you're doing it based on the principles, not based on your emotionalism about it, or based on your spirituality about it, or based on, we're at that place. We know about our nationality and birthrights. Like we're saying, there's Moors right now who we know, because of them knowing that they're Moors, they've made connections with, people who, Noble Drew Ali again said would be the ones to help us. Brothers and sisters from the East. The brothers and sisters from the East. Now think about this, 1920s, right? Brother T. Booker Bay said that he was walking down the street in Chicago, Illinois, and an Arabian came out of a store and asked him to come into the store. He went with him. The Arabian pointed at a man and asked him, do you know who this is? Brother Booker Bay said, that is my prophet. The Holy Prophet said, all right, son. The store was full of Arabians, and Brother T. Booker Bay said that all of them had nationality cards for the Moorish Science Temple of America. Digest that one. Digest that one. Remember, 1920s. Right? Noble Drew Ali's message that he came to all Asiatics. The only way for them to be American citizens is to come through what Noble Drew Ali set up. We have the Temple 13 Moors letting you know that there was something set up for the Europeans, which was the naturalization, for them to be brought into the fold. But they took it and then they put that on Moors. And then you had to bring the Negro, black, colored people out of that status into their full life status, which was them proclaiming and declaring their nationality as Moorish American. Moorish Science Temple of America holding that function or performing that function. The Arabian pointed at a man, not a picture of a man, pointed at a man and asked him, do you know who this is? Now, how did this come about? How did it come about that this Arabian went out of a store? What happened prior to him going out and calling in the morning?
Right, because he was just in the store with the prophet.
Right? Now, I'm looking at either the Arabian trying to show another Arabian how serious it is, or Noble Drew Ali proving and saying, go get you see anybody out there with a fez on, you pull them in and ask them. Now, how many people would be around in fezzes for the Arabian to go out and see somebody in the 20s? That's another part of it. How many people were wearing fezzes in the 20s that Arabian went out of a store and just grabbed a Moor? He wasn't waiting for a Moor to come. If you go outside right now, see if a Moor shows up. Say, hold on, run to the sidewalk and look both ways and see if you see a Moor. This Arabian went outside in Chicago in the 1920s and saw a Moor and pulled him in a store. Now, what was the Arabian's position when the Moor said, yeah, that's the prophet, Noble Drew Ali? Like, how crazy is that? That you're a Moor walking down the street, Arabian runs up to you, hey, Islam Moor, can I talk to you a second? And he brings you in a store and the prophet's there. And he's asking you, who's that? So the brothers from the east, the store was full of Arabians. The store was full of Arabians. And Brother T. Booker Bay said all of them had nationality cards. Why do all these Arabians have nationality cards? Because they went through the process of naturalized through the Moorish Science Temple. It's the only thing that makes sense.
It reminded me of the so-called Mexicans picture with them with all their fezzes on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like a whole room of them. Fezzes everywhere. So it's not like that can't happen. It had. We saw it. We saw the picture.
Yep. Yeah. Moors that were in the temple during the lifetime of the prophet, of the holy prophet Noble Drew Ali, said that when the holy prophet came to town, you would have to go to the temple early to get a seat. And you could not get a seat in the front row because the foreign Muslims would be sitting in the front row to see and hear the prophet. What? When Noble Ali came to town, you would have to go to the temple early to get a seat. Early, you would have to get there.
Because they up front.
Crazy how on point he must have been. He's on point like that. Foreign Muslims were walking around and they hear Noble Ali's coming to town and they're there before Morris. They're there before Morris to the point where they got all the front seats. How big this sellout was of your birthright that everybody knew about. Like we told him in this one, where you think Elijah Muhammad learned how to eat to live? This is before Layla Africa, before Dr. Sebi and all that. The Holy Prophet Noble Ali used to heal people, and people came to him for counsel. Brother G. Cook Bay of Temple One said that when he was in Baltimore, Maryland, the Holy Prophet was healing people. Brother G. Cook Bay went to the head of the stairs and told the people, the Prophet is tired. He has been healing people all day long. Go home. And then when you're thinking about that in your mind, think about quote unquote Black Wall Street. And think about Asiatics amongst themselves doing their business, doing their trade, doing their philosophy with their own people, with no issues, no debating about who's the whatever and who's the this and that. Because we had one common cause. We are a nation. And Noble Ali was being the doctor of the nation. On top of the Prophet. On top of the Prophet. Sister E. Sims L. of Temple 4 and 43 said that she went to the Holy Prophet because she had been sick. The Holy Prophet listened to her and said, sister, you're going to get well. But that is as much for that meeting that she related. But her husband, Brother R. Sims L., Grand Sheikh of Temple 4, said that the Holy Prophet said to her also, sister, go to the temple if you have to crawl. Which would let you know that, you know, his healing people was real. And the payback was, sister, just go to your meetings. I'm going to heal you. You'll be well. But just go to your meetings. I don't care if you have to crawl. Make sure you go to your meetings. And then every time we read this one, thrown back to Chicago when we were out there in 2008. And we're on our way to the temple. And we're making a left off some street onto South Cottage Grove. Temple's down the street. And there's an elder with a walker crossing the street. He's like moving slow. Someone say, oh yeah, there's the elder right there. You know what I mean? So pull over, pull them up or whatever. It's not more, you're right. We're going to the temple right now. Oh, no, it's all right. It's all right. You know what I mean? Don't worry. I'll make my meetings or whatever. Don't worry about me. I'll get there. Yeah, but, we got room in the trunk. Yeah, no, it's all good, man. You know what I mean? I like to take my bus trips, whatever. All right, whatever. You know what I mean? Bam, go to the temple, chilling at the temple.
Yeah, I was just thinking this.
Right? Chilling at the temple. Door opens. Guess who's first in the temple? Man with the walker.
Yep.
People are walking into the meeting, and there's a Moor in there with a walker before them. Every time I read this, I remember that. And how serious he was about not taking the ride. Like, he was moving slow. He's like, I make my meetings.
Yeah, right. Yep.
I'm
making my meeting.
I don't care what. And he was an elder. He was elder. I'm like, wow. He's on it like that? Like he's on a more like that? Like, wow, that's serious. And that was an amazing one. Just that thought. Crazy. The Holy Prophet told the Moors that one day they're going to see so few people that when you see an old Moor, you will run up to him and kiss him on the top of his head. One day, there are going to be so few people. There are going to be so few people that when you go outside, you see the old Moor, you're going to be happy. The Holy Prophet told the Moors that there will be so few men that a child will go to the store and return home and tell his mother, "Mother, I saw a man." Oh yeah, you can talk about that one with the little girl that seen you that time. Was that you?
Yep. Yeah. I was coming out of the corner store, and I had fez on and everything, and it was just that the little girl was with her dad, and so I turned around, and the little girl goes, "Hey, look, Dad, a Moor," but she was like 3-4 years old. You know what I mean? Like a little girl pointing up, like, "Look, Daddy, a Moor." And I was looking at her like, "Yo, look at this, crazy, crazy." Like, yo, but you gotta remember, the corner store, where I domicile at, it's all, Moors, but they, I'm the only one that has my fez on. You know what I mean? So for her to like, all Moors is walking around her, but no, you have the whole thing. You know what I mean? You're the guy. You're fez on and everything. And she's like 4. But the other thing too is for they say like, oh, you got to meet them where they're at. The 4-year-old knew it. She said, "Look, Daddy, a Moor." 4 years old, she already got it.
Yeah.
Little old girl, barrettes in her hair and everything. Little girl.
Sister M. Howell L. of Temple 19 said that the Holy Prophet pointed his finger and said, "My sheep know the sound of my voice. A stranger will not follow." A stranger will not follow. Because The sheep know the sound. And again, for the inepts, when we say follow, we're not talking about the man. We're talking about the principles. We're talking about the lessons. The sheep know the sound of the voice, not that the sheep are following after the man. Voice, sound, vibration, energy. The sheep know the energy. We're not Baba black sheep behind Noble Drew Ali going down the trail. The stranger is not going to follow because the stranger doesn't know the vibration of the shepherd. Sister M. Howell L. of Temple 19 said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I brought you your nationality, your religion, and title to your vast estate. What do you want me to do? Kill you?
Yep.
Like, what do you want? What do you want? I'm hungry. What do you want me to put the food in your stomach and chew and digest it for you? He brought you your nationality. You check that off. He brought you your religion. He brought you a title to your vast estate. He brought you your nationality, Moorish American. He brought you your religion, Islamism. And he brought you your title, El Bey Al Ali, to your vast estate, the Moroccan Empire. You really want something, you really want you're still asking the Prophet for something? He brought it to you. All you have to do is pick it up. That's all. He brought it to you. All you have to do is extend your hands, take it out of his hands, and now it's yours. That's all. Nothing else. Nah, you want to do that.
Because by him just doing that, by bringing everything you just said, Grand Sheik, he covered all boundaries, all bases. He covered it all, and nobody has ever done that since then. Nobody has ever done that, ever. Never. Only one man has done that.
Only one.
Nobody has done what he did. That's why they tried to bury him. That's why you never hear about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. You never hear about him because he was the guy who covered all bases. Once you learn about him and you found out what he brung, and you tie that in with everything else that's going on, with law, and whatnot, etc., you'll see that, oh, okay, everything he did was to tie us back to everything. Yep. And nobody's doing that. They're trying to bring us back to some so-called civil rights and all of this BS that means nothing. When the Prophet brought us back to the nations of the human family or whatnot. You know what I mean? Bring us back to being able to stand amongst men.
Mm-hmm.
Being in that dead status, we wasn't able to do any of that.
Exactly.
And that's how he said they jealous of his fame and nobility. That's the main big issue too. The reason why, because everything you just said, nobody's done that. and that's a, and people will get very jealous of that since then. Ever since and that's why he told him, like, I know what it is. You guys just jealous of the fame and nobility because he brung everything. He did it all.
It's, Brother O. Peyton Bay of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I'm going to let the fire touch some of you old Moor shirt tail. Brother T. Booker Bay said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I'm going to let the fire touch some of my good Moors. All right, so when you get some fire sometimes and you're a good Moor, you're asking yourself, why is this happening to me and all this? Because, you gotta get some too. That's just, the fire has to be spread. The fire has to be spread. Money will be burnt in the streets and we won't be able to buy much. And when I put my spirit in the streets, you won't be able to sell your car for 25 cents. Brother E. Thomas said that the Holy Prophet said, they will seek peace, but none shall be found. They will seek peace, but none shall be found. Brother J. Blakely Bay told the Moors that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, people are going to be dying like hogs with cholera, and the doctors won't know what's wrong with them. The only thing that is going to save them is my remedies. If you're looking for remedies for stuff right now? Okay. Oh yeah, and make sure you go ask Moor Science Temple of America what happened to the manufacturing companies that were making the Noble Drawley's remedies. How come every Moor does not have access to Noble Drawley's remedies? If there's a manufacturing company that was making the remedies. Sister M. Lovett L. said that the Holy Prophet said, my remedies will cure you of anything that you weren't born with. Brother J. Blakely Bay said that the Holy Prophet said that we are going to be taxed to death. You really need more? Yo, he was on point.
Right on point.
He was on point. Right? On point.
So the tax thing is the whole game.
Great time to be a Moor. Great time. J. Blakely Bay told the Moors that the Holy Prophet said, if you are not careful, your own brothers will try to put you in slavery. Brother J. Blakely Bay told the Moors that the Holy Prophet said, if you don't leave here right with me this time, you won't make it back here in human form. If we don't leave here right with him this time, we won't make it back here in human form. So what other forms are there that we can make it back here in? What are you talking about? If we're not going to make it back here in human form, if we don't follow the Prophet, what form are we coming back in? And let's just say we're coming back in the form of an animal. Is that why animals have, emotions and stuff, and they love to be by their master, and when you treat them right, they treat you right, and when they get angry, they bite and all that stuff, or when they get scared, they bite and strike and whatever, because they have human stuff in them? That why these people are saying connection to monkeys and all this? Because that's how an animal gets its consciousness, because it used to be a human that came back here in animal form. They were a sinner or something. It's just a lot to think about. Sister A. Brown L. of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet said, one day some of you Moors are going to be walking around with skippers. Those are maggots falling out of you, praying to die and won't be able to die. Don't be those Moors. Don't be those Moors. Don't be the Moors who are going to be walking around with skippers falling out of them, praying to die and can't die. Don't be those Moors. Be any Moors, but not those ones. Please don't be those Moors. Please don't be them. Islam to all the Moors worldwide on this.
So the prophet is the man. Islam.
The man. The prophet is the man. And we give honors to him. We give supreme honors to Noble Drew Ali. Thank you for teaching us the truth about our nationality and birthrights. Those were the missing keys. And now we're eyes wide open. Now we know what eyes wide open really means. That we see the world from a whole different lens. You see the world from a whole different lens. Peace and love to all Moors. So look out, because we're still in. So we got some time. We got a couple interviews we're working on. One interview we're working on is based on this book called The Teen Sex Trade, My Story. The sister by the name of Jade Brooks that wrote a book about her child trafficking life experience and children's services. So it should be an interesting one. I just got the book actually, and I'm probably about halfway. It's quite intense as far as the whole trauma and what is created out of this trauma, like decisions she's making based in trauma, not based in, conversation, not based in learning something, not based in, life experiences. Like it's based in this psychological thing that happens once trauma is involved. It's pretty crazy. So that'll be one that we want to do from mothers down. So we'll keep you posted on the date. We'll probably do the same concept with putting the link out there, especially for mothers to express their self, because from reading this, I know that when they're talking about the kidnapped women and the indigenous women that are whatever, and this whole theme about women suffering because of some systematic thing, or some man that his head's not right or whatever, or them by themselves stuff's not right. It warrants some discussion, and some thoughts to be shared. I'll just read the back so you can get a little taste. A riveting, distressing, revealing memoir by a gifted writer. Jade Brooks grew up like any other. She played with friends, lovingly teased and was teased by her siblings, and excelled at school. It wasn't until she was removed from her family at age 11 that she felt something was wrong. Growing up between two Halifax's predominantly black neighborhoods, Jade was raised in communities plagued by social problems, addictions, tangled personal relationships, social workers, and prison terms became everyday facts. When the first serious love in her life entered the picture at age 15, that relationship became the center of everything. Following a path many have taken before, pushed along by her abusive boyfriend, Jade found herself in the sex trade. She learned to sell her body in the strip clubs and massage parlors of Toronto and Montreal in order to survive. Gifted with the ability to recall details of personalities, events, and conversations, Jade reveals a reality that will be unknown to many of her readers. She tells her story straight out, no holds barred, just as she remembers it. By doing so, she allows her readers to come to a far deeper appreciation of the circumstances that lead to the trafficking of young women in Canada today. And you can get the book at Formac Publishing, formac.ca. And again, it's The Teen Sex Trade, Jade Brooks. So that'll be a great
interview. Yeah, this is gonna be.
That interview is gonna be off the chain. And then of course, she's in the information, not as much as she might want to be at this point, but she knows she's not black and Negro and all that, and is open to that ideal and that concept. You know what I mean? So it should be a good discussion. So we'll keep you posted on that. I was telling her that I just wanted to finish or get through at least some of the book before we did the interview. And there's a couple of things in there that could make good discussion topics. So all the mothers and the fathers who have young daughters and daughters in general, this would be something to have them here as well, So that'll be sometime this week. We'll see how it goes. That'll be sometime this week. But we'll keep you posted on that one. And other than that, you already know we'll be popping up somewhere, putting down something. Islam, Brother Yusuf, give thanks more.
Islam Grand Street. Give thanks to your platform, all the Moors in Canaanland. Give thanks to the Moors to the chat, and honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam.
Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors to the Prophet.
Islam.
And we give much thanks for everything that he did. Islam. Yeah. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I'm going at dirty rappers, lynching dirty Moors too. Hiding literature that Drew wrote to warn you. They claim to make you Muslim and make you sovereign. With paperwork and filings and fiat they robbing. They don't care about his words, throw it out like garbage. Or throw it at you when you're active, not passive. When they want to talk about like off a trampoline mattress, treat them like a vamp or a teen actress. Get stabbed with a brand like a mean savage. This inquisition's divine, all others average. Millennium Renaissance, heroes in our classes. Fed up with the czar controlling fastest. Ask if they heard about Moors, they say no. But Masons, they obviously know. Down the handshakes and rituals with skull and bones. They even know about owls burning in Bohemian Grove. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did. I know what Dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what Dirty Moors did. dirty Moors killed Drew. I read the FBI papers on loyal Moors, emergency fund rapers, Moorish literature and divine bylaw changes. Might as well say Drew Ali was born in a manger. Prophets push poison aside and his food smell danger. Got me treating every Moor like a stranger. Grand Sheik Wankin stumbling drunk in their feds. What was proclaimed for every meeting was not read. Some mother so active prophet can't be dead. Thanks Moorish teachers away, I can't be led. Actions speak, then I consider what's said. And what's said was study, then study yourself. Honest to the prophet, noble Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. Everybody wants to be just like Drew Ali, but nobody wants to care about Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did. I know what dirty Moors did to Drew Ali. I know what dirty Moors did. First create